Sleep Smarter, 21 proven tips to sleep your way to a better body, better health, and bigger success, by Shawn Stevenson. Introduction. He was just 20 years old. A young man, a promising athlete in college, with his whole life spread out before him like a sunlit road. But one day, that road crumbled. After an intense workout, he felt a sharp, searing pain in his hip. He thought it was just a pulled muscle, something that would heal with a little rest. But it didn't heal. The pain grew worse, spreading, until walking became a struggle. Doctors were baffled. They ran tests, took X-rays, and finally delivered a devastating diagnosis: degenerative bone disease. They told him he had the spine of an 80-year-old man. They told him there was no cure, that the cartilage between his bones was deteriorating and would never grow back. They told him his best hope was to manage the pain. This young man was Shawn Stevenson. And for 2 years, he lived in a prison of chronic pain, his dreams of a vibrant, active life dissolving into a daily battle just to get by. But something inside him refused to accept this verdict. He started asking questions. He dove into books on health, anatomy, and nutrition, becoming a student of the human body in a way no classroom had ever taught him. And he discovered something that his doctors had never once mentioned. A force so powerful it could rebuild the body, rebalance hormones, and heal what was deemed incurable. That force was sleep. Today, Shawn Stevenson is not just walking. He is a thriving, vibrant picture of health and a leading voice in the world of wellness. His story is a testament to a profound truth that our modern, hustle-obsessed culture has forgotten. Sleep is not a luxury, it is the foundation of everything. It's the secret sauce. The book we're exploring today, Sleep Smarter, is the culmination of his incredible journey. It's not just a collection of tips, it's a roadmap to reclaiming your energy, your health, and your potential. It has become an international phenomenon because it addresses the one thing that affects every single facet of our lives, yet is the first thing we sacrifice. My promise to you today is this: by the end of our time together, you will no longer see sleep as an obstacle to your success. You will see it as the ultimate performance-enhancing tool, a secret weapon that can sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and unlock a level of success you never thought possible. We're going to uncover why you've been struggling and, more importantly, what you can do about it, starting tonight. Book summary. Let's start with a question that might sound a little strange. What do a type 2 diabetic and a perfectly healthy person who just pulled an all-nighter have in common? It sounds like the setup to a bad joke, but the answer is shockingly serious. They have the same level of insulin resistance. Just one night of poor sleep can throw your hormones and your blood sugar into such chaos that your body responds as if it has a chronic disease. Now, imagine that stretched out over weeks, months, or even years. This is the reality for millions of us. We live in a culture that wears sleep deprivation like a badge of honor. We're taught to work harder, sleep less, and that we can catch up on sleep when we're dead. But Shawn Stevenson reveals a different story. He tells us that this mindset isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. Sleep isn't lost time. It's not an inconvenience we have to schedule our lives around. It is the single most important and restorative process our body has. To put it simply, being awake is catabolic, it breaks you down. But sleep is anabolic, it builds you up. When you sleep, your body isn't just offline. It's in a heightened state of repair. It's heightening the growth and rejuvenation of your immune, skeletal, and muscular systems. It's balancing your hormones, boosting your metabolism, and cementing memories in your brain. It's literally rebuilding you, cell by cell, keeping you youthful and strong. So, what happens when we skip this critical maintenance? The consequences are severe: immune system failure, diabetes, cancer, obesity, depression, and memory loss, just to name a few. Think about that feeling when you're exhausted. You crave sugary, starchy foods, donuts, chips, candy. That isn't a lack of willpower. It's a biological cry for help. Research shows that after just 24 hours of sleep deprivation, the glucose reaching your brain is reduced by about 6%. In simple terms, you get dumber. Your brain, desperate for fuel, sends out powerful signals to eat the quickest form of energy it can find, sugar. And it gets even more specific. The parts of your brain that suffer the most are the prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobe, the very areas you need for good judgment, social control, and distinguishing right from wrong. They lose up to 14% of their glucose. Have you ever made a decision late at night that you deeply regretted the next morning? It wasn't entirely your fault. Your brain was hijacked by a sleep-deprived, dumber version of yourself. This fundamental understanding, that sleep is not an enemy to be conquered, but an ally to be embraced, is the first and most important step. Once we truly know the value of sleep, we can start building the habits that protect it. And the first place to start isn't in the bedroom at night. It's outside, in the morning sun. It seems backward, doesn't it, that getting more sunlight during the day could help you sleep better at night. But the science is crystal clear. Your body runs on an internal 24-hour clock called a circadian rhythm. This clock is controlled by a tiny part of your brain called the hypothalamus, which acts as the master gland for your entire hormonal system. It controls hunger, thirst, and your sleep cycles. And what sets this master clock? Light. Specifically, sunlight. When you expose yourself to sunlight in the morning, especially between 6 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., it sends a powerful signal to your brain to wake up. It triggers the production of your daytime hormones, like cortisol, and sets a timer for later that evening. Think of it like this: morning sunlight starts a countdown. And when that countdown ends 14 to 16 hours later, your brain will be ready to release melatonin, the get-good-sleep hormone. Without this morning light signal, the clock gets confused. A recent study found that office workers with no access to windows got 173% less natural light exposure and slept, on average, 46 minutes less each night than those with windows. They had more physical problems, lower vitality, and poorer sleep quality. So, the first rule is simple: get at least 30 minutes of direct sunlight in the morning. Open the curtains, step outside, eat your breakfast on the porch. Even on a cloudy day, the sun's rays will get through and set your internal clock for a great night's sleep. Now, if morning sunlight is the on switch for your day, there's another kind of light that's become a dangerous off switch for your sleep: the artificial blue light from our screens. This is perhaps the single biggest saboteur of modern sleep. Our computers, tablets, TVs, and smartphones are all blasting out a specific spectrum of blue light that screams daytime to your brain. When your brain sees this light in the evening, it gets confused. It suppresses the production of melatonin and keeps pumping out daytime hormones like cortisol. One study showed that just 2 hours of iPad use at maximum brightness was enough to significantly delay the normal nighttime release of melatonin. Think about that. For millions of years, our biology was synced to the setting of the sun. Now, in just the last few decades, we've introduced these tiny, artificial suns that we hold inches from our face right before bed. Our bodies are simply not designed for this. The solution? Create a non-negotiable screen curfew. The author recommends turning off all screens at least 90 minutes before bedtime. 90 minutes. This gives your brain the time it needs to recognize the darkness and begin its natural process of preparing for sleep. What do you do during that time? Rediscover the ancient relics we used to call books. Talk to the people you live with, face to face. Listen. Connect. These activities calm the mind, while screens stimulate it. If you absolutely must be on a computer late at night, you can use a free application like f.lux, which automatically reduces the blue light from your screen as the sun sets. But remember, this is a backup plan. The best solution is to power down and let your mind wind down with it. Let's talk about another stimulant we love: caffeine. So many of us rely on it to get through the day, but we don't realize it's still affecting us long after we finish that afternoon cup of coffee. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. What it does is trick your brain. All day long, as your brain works, it produces a byproduct called adenosine. As adenosine levels rise, they plug into receptors in your brain, which signals you to feel tired. It's your body's natural way of telling you it's time to rest. But caffeine has a similar chemical structure to adenosine. It sneakily slides into those same receptors, blocking the real adenosine from getting in. So your brain never gets the "I'm tired" message, even though your body desperately needs to rest. Here's the kicker: caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 8 hours. That means if you have a cup of coffee at 2 p.m., half of that caffeine is still active in your system at 10 p.m. One study found that consuming caffeine even 6 hours before bed caused a measurable loss of 1 full hour of sleep. And the participants didn't even realize it. They thought they slept fine. This creates a vicious cycle. You drink caffeine, which hurts your sleep, which makes you tired the next day, which makes you reach for more caffeine. The solution is another simple curfew: a caffeine curfew. For most people, this means no caffeine after 2 p.m. This gives your body enough time to clear most of it out of your system before you need to sleep. Just as important as what you put in your body is the environment around your body. And one of the most powerful environmental factors is temperature. Your body's ability to regulate its temperature, called thermoregulation, is deeply connected to your sleep cycle. To initiate sleep, your body's core temperature needs to drop automatically. If your room is too warm, it makes this process much more difficult. Studies have found that the ideal room temperature for sleep is a surprisingly cool 60 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. In fact, research shows that insomniacs tend to have a warmer core body temperature right before bed, which keeps their bodies in a state of arousal, preventing them from falling asleep. You want your bedroom to be cool, but you don't want your feet to be cold. If your hands and feet are too cold, it can be a sign of poor circulation and can actually trigger sleeplessness. The simple fix? Wear a pair of warm, loose-fitting socks to bed. And here's a great pro tip: try taking a warm bath about 90 minutes before bed. The initial rise in your body temperature will be followed by a sharp drop, which perfectly signals your body that it's time to sleep. So we've set the stage with light and temperature. Now let's talk about timing. You can get 8 hours of sleep and still wake up exhausted if you're sleeping at the wrong time. The author calls the hours between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. money time. During this 4-hour window, your body goes through its most significant hormonal secretions and recovery. This is when you get the biggest pulses of melatonin and human growth hormone, the youth hormone that helps keep you vibrant and strong. If you go to bed at 1 a.m. and wake up at 9 a.m., you're still getting 8 hours, but you've missed the most valuable part of that money time. It's like investing in the stock market. When you invest matters just as much as how much you invest. Have you ever been tired around 8 or 9 p.m., but you push through it, and suddenly at 10 p.m. you feel wide awake? That's your second wind. Around 10 p.m., your body is programmed to increase its internal metabolic energy to repair and rejuvenate itself. If you're asleep, this energy goes toward healing. But if you're awake, you experience it as a new surge of energy that you might use to watch another episode on Netflix or scroll through social media. By doing this, you're stealing the energy meant for your body's repair crew and giving it to your brain's entertainment committee. To get the most out of your sleep, aim to be in bed somewhere between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. for most of the year, aligning yourself with the natural rhythm of the sun. And here's another powerful hack related to timing. Understand your sleep cycles. Sleep isn't one long, continuous state. You cycle through different stages, from light sleep to deep sleep to REM sleep. Each full cycle lasts about 90 minutes. If your alarm clock jolts you awake in the middle of a deep sleep cycle, you'll wake up feeling groggy and disoriented, no matter how long you've slept. So, instead of just aiming for 8 hours, try to wake up at the end of a 90-minute cycle. For example, if you go to bed at 10 p.m., setting your alarm for 5:30 a.m. gives you 7.5 hours, or 5 full sleep cycles. You'll likely feel far more refreshed than if you woke up at 6 a.m., right in the middle of your 6th cycle. Now let's talk about a powerful tool for calming your body from the inside out, the anti-stress mineral, magnesium. It helps balance blood sugar, relax tense muscles, and calm the nervous system. The problem is, an estimated 80% of the U.S. population is deficient in it. A chronic lack of magnesium is one of the leading mineral deficiencies in the world, and one of its central symptoms is insomnia. Simply getting your magnesium levels up can have a nearly instant effect on your sleep quality. While you can get it from foods like green leafy vegetables and pumpkin seeds, the author suggests that the most effective way to boost your levels is through topical application, rubbing it directly on your skin. Epsom salt baths are a classic example, as Epsom salt is a form of magnesium. A high-quality magnesium oil or lotion applied to your chest, neck, and shoulders before bed can work wonders to relax you and prepare your body for deep, restorative rest. We've optimized the light, the temperature, the timing, and our internal minerals. Now, let's transform the bedroom itself. Your bedroom should be a sacred space, a sleep sanctuary. And it should be reserved for only 2 things: sleep and, well, the other thing that helps you sleep. More on that in a moment. This means no more work in bed. No more turning your bedroom into the entertainment hub of the house. Your brain is a master of association. If you train it to associate your bed with work emails, stressful news, and late-night TV, it won't know how to shut down when it's time to sleep. To create a true sanctuary, think about what makes a place feel serene. Fresh air is vital. The air inside our homes can become stagnant and lose its energizing negative ions. Simply opening a window or using a fan can help. Even better, bring some nature inside. Houseplants like English ivy and the snake plant are incredible natural air filters. The snake plant is particularly amazing for the bedroom because it absorbs carbon dioxide and releases oxygen at night, giving you a boost of fresh air while you sleep. And speaking of those 2 things the bedroom is for, let's talk about the second one. Having a big O is one of nature's most powerful sedatives. During an orgasm, your body releases a cocktail of relaxing chemicals, including oxytocin and prolactin. Oxytocin triggers the release of feel-good endorphins, and prolactin is heavily linked to sleep. Studies show that prolactin levels are naturally higher during sleep, and animals injected with it become tired immediately. This surge of calming hormones is the perfect setup for a deep and satisfying rest. We've created a cool, dark, calm sanctuary. But how dark is dark enough? The answer is pitch black. So dark you can't see your hand in front of your face. Even small amounts of light from a street lamp, a digital alarm clock, or a night light can disrupt your melatonin production. Here's something mind-blowing. Your skin has light receptors, similar to the ones in your retina. Your skin can literally see. So even if your eyes are closed, if there's light in the room, your body knows it and sends signals to your brain that can interfere with your sleep. This is why blackout curtains are one of the best investments you can make for your health. And that glowing alarm clock? Cover it up or, even better, get one with a dimmer that you can turn all the way off. Create a true sleep cave, and you will be rewarded with deeper, more restorative sleep. Now, let's connect sleep to another crucial part of a healthy life: Exercise. Training hard is fantastic for you, but you have to train smart. Here's the secret most people don't know. You don't actually get fit in the gym. At the gym, you're tearing your body down. The magic, the transformation, the part where you get stronger and leaner, all happens while you're asleep. That's when your body releases the hormones that repair and rebuild your muscles. But the timing of your exercise matters immensely. A study at Appalachian State University found that people who worked out at 7 a.m. slept longer and had a deeper sleep cycle than those who exercised in the afternoon or evening. In fact, the morning exercisers spent up to 75% more time in the most reparative deep sleep stage. Why is this? Working out late in the evening raises your core body temperature, which, as we know, can prevent you from falling asleep. It also spikes cortisol, your body's stress hormone, right at the time when it should be at its lowest C chart on page 66. Your body is naturally primed for activity in the morning, when cortisol is highest. By exercising in the morning, you are working with your body's natural hormonal rhythm, not against it. And what kind of exercise is best? The author makes a strong case for lifting heavy weights. This triggers a powerful anabolic hormone response that helps you build lean muscle, your body's fat-burning machinery. For people with a history of sleep problems, he recommends short, intense, 30-minute sessions, like superset training, where you pair two exercises for different muscle groups back-to-back. We've talked about getting screens out of the bedroom, but what about our other electronic friends, our cell phones? A study sponsored by mobile phone companies themselves found that using a cell phone before bed caused people to take longer to reach deep sleep and spend less time in it. Yet, over half of us sleep with our phones right next to our heads. Beyond the blue light, these devices emit electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, which can disrupt communication between your body's cells. The World Health Organization has even classified cell phone radiation as a Class B carcinogen. The solution is simple, though it might feel radical at first. Get your phone out of your bedroom. Charge it in the kitchen or the living room. Buy a cheap, old-fashioned alarm clock. Your bedroom should be an electronics-free zone, a place for your body and mind to truly disconnect and recharge. This brings us to one of the most significant, yet overlooked, factors in sleep quality: your body weight. Being overweight places severe stress on your organs, your nervous system, and your endocrine system. One study showed that after a meal, overweight individuals secreted 51% more of the stress hormone cortisol than people at a healthy weight. These elevated cortisol levels disrupt sleep, lower insulin sensitivity, and create more inflammation. Excess body fat, particularly around the neck and trunk, is also a leading cause of sleep apnea, a dangerous condition where you repeatedly stop breathing during sleep. The real solution isn't a breathing machine. It's addressing the root cause by losing the excess body fat. But here's the cruel irony. Just as obesity contributes to sleep problems contribute to obesity. Sleep deprivation messes with the hormones that control your appetite. It decreases leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full, and increases ghrelin, the hormone that tells you you're hungry. It also impairs the higher-order functions of your brain, like self-control, and fires up the primitive, emotional parts of your brain that crave high-calorie junk food. It's a vicious cycle, but you can break it. And the most powerful place to start is by prioritizing sleep. Finally, we arrive at the master key that ties all of these strategies together: the ritual. Your brain loves patterns. Just as parents use bedtime rituals to signal to a child that it's time to sleep, a bath, a story, a lullaby, you can create a pre-sleep ritual for yourself. A consistent evening routine teaches your brain to become familiar with sleep times and programs your internal clock. What could this look like? 90 minutes before bed, all screens go off. You take a warm bath with magnesium salts. You do some light stretching. You sit in a comfortable chair and read a few pages of a fiction book, avoiding nonfiction that gets your analytical brain working. You might journal for a few minutes, writing down 3 things you were grateful for that day to shift your mind into a positive state. Or you could do a simple breathing meditation to calm your inner chatter. The specific activities don't matter as much as the consistency. This ritual becomes a powerful neuroassociation. It's a clear, unmistakable signal to your brain and body that the day is done, and it's time to enter a state of deep rest and repair. It's how you take all of these individual tips and weave them into an automatic, unconscious competence, a habit that serves you for the rest of your life. Commentary. As we draw to a close, I want you to step back and just reflect on what we've talked about today. In a world that is constantly selling us the next productivity hack, the newest supplement, or the most advanced biohacking gadget, Shawn Stevenson brings us back to something far more powerful, something that is ancient, and something that is absolutely free. He reminds us that the greatest performance enhancer on earth is not something you can buy, it's something you must earn through discipline and respect for your own biology. It's a great night's sleep. What I find so profound about Sleep Smarter is that it's not just a book about sleep. It's a book about living in alignment with our own nature. For thousands of generations, humans lived by the rhythm of the sun. We rose with the light, worked under its energy, and rested in the darkness. Our modern world has severed that connection. We've created a 24/7 culture of artificial light, constant stimulation, and a belief that rest is for the weak. This book is a call to reconnect. To honor the simple, timeless truths that our bodies have always known. The message here is one of empowerment. It tells us that we don't have to be victims of our tired, overstressed modern lives. We have the power to stack the conditions in our favor. We can choose to step out into the morning sun. We can choose to put our phones away an hour before bed. We can choose to make our bedrooms a cool, dark sanctuary. None of these things are complicated or expensive, yet their cumulative effect is nothing short of life-changing. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all these ideas, don't be. The journey to better sleep doesn't require perfection overnight. It just requires a single, conscious step in the right direction. So let me leave you with a simple challenge. Pick just one thing from our discussion today. Just one. Maybe tonight, you'll set an alarm for 90 minutes before your desired bedtime, and when it goes off, you'll put your phone and your laptop away for the night. Or maybe tomorrow morning, you'll take your coffee and step outside for the first 15 minutes of your day, just to let the sun hit your face. Choose one small thing, and do it consistently. Because what this book teaches us, more than anything, is that the small, simple, intelligent choices we make every day are the ones that build a life of health, vitality, and success. You have the power to transform your life, one night at a time. That was a summary of Sleep Smarter by Shawn Stevenson. We've touched on the most powerful ideas today, but believe me when I say that a summary is like looking at a postcard of the Grand Canyon. It gives you a glimpse of the majesty, but it can never replace the experience of standing on the edge and feeling the vastness for yourself. The real magic happens when you read the book. It's in the quiet moments when a particular story or a simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've discussed today has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see your health and your daily life. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's continue to grow and learn together.